Freetime, one on the text developed under the EU Collective Play program. And I would like to introduce the four actors. Here, can you stand up? Then applause. Thank you guys. We're going to read the English version of the play. The play is, of course, the combination of the writing of Giovanni Acerbo, who is Italian, writing in Italian, and the Prestacook brothers. And there, can you stand up, guys? Which now has been translated into English as part of this program. Of course, there is a lot of translations going on, having like groups of writers from different countries. So the reading is about a couple of hours, and then we have a few, like 20 minutes of a chat. So I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you so much.
A bedroom. Federico, young, handsome, naked, gagged and bound to a chair. Adamo, in his 40s, swigging from a bottle of whiskey. Muchas tardes y buena gracias. You do realize, don't you? Muchas tardes y buena gracias. Your granddad truly is a wanker. Adam's phone rings. Adamo answering. Yes, he's right here. We've got him. Mariano Rajoy's nephew. Yes, I know. I know. Well, getting one of Zapatero's family just wasn't feasible. And anyway, Rajoy was a minister. No, it'll be seen as a warning. Even if he's no longer part of the government. As for the rest, well, we can't be too choosy. People will ask, do you remember Mariano? Do you remember the nephew? He makes a gesture, trying to recall something, turns back to Federico. Esta es gran nación. Perdón, España es un gran nación. Shakes his head and goes back to the phone. Certainly, I'll use the banderillas. That way they'll never suspect. Sure. Well, that's abundantly clear. He puts down the phone. España es un gran país y tierra españolas. When I kill you with the banderillas, people will believe a Spaniard did it, not an Italian. Everyone will think, los españoles, muy españoles, y mucho españoles, to quote that wanker again, precisely because I killed you with banderillas. Isn't that marvelous? Federico shakes his head. Adamo pulls out the banderillas, which are bullfighting darts, from a drawer. Acatoro! Acatoreya! Come here and experience the feeling up to the hilt. Adamo skewers Federico's chest with the banderillas. Copious amounts of blood. Federico dies. Adamo removes the gag. Federico's head falls back lifeless. Adamo. Fan-fucking-tastic! Gestures maniacally. Los españoles, muy españoles y mucho españoles. He laughs. Los españoles, muy españoles y mucho españoles. And then even louder. Los españoles, muy españoles y mucho españoles. Adamo swigs from the bottle, then drinks some of Federico's blood. Adamo's phone rings again. Absolutely. Mission accomplished. Well, naturally, they'll never suspect an Italian. Now, you must do the same thing in Rome, but use a Parmesan cheese mold. He makes a face. What do you mean Rajoy hasn't got a nephew? What? Like he has no nephew? But do I have to think of everything? Look, it has to be... No! Well, why do I need to solve this problem? What's that supposed to fucking mean? Look, you dickhead, this job was... Adamo looks uncomfortably at the phone. He ends the call. After a moment, it rings again. Adamo studies the number and he decides to answer. Where were you? Why do you treat me like shit even when I ask nicely for something? Not everything needs to be taken as a provocation. I didn't ask you for Al Capone, I asked you for Samuel, who's right round the corner and is a professional. Why am I a shit? No, just tell me. Just explain to me why I'm a shit. Well, what I'm saying is you're a fucking fucking gangster. A gangster, you understand, not some Wagnerian soprano with a dick. Talking to you is like being stuck in a fucking German opera. Wir sind die größte Organisation aus Deutschlandes. Oh, I am sorry. I'm sorry, I have no time to go to therapy, but believe me, I relish telling a therapist the fantasies I've had about you. And they are not erotic fantasies either. Don't you talk to me about egotism and lack of vision, you Germans. You've littered the dance floor with corpses since 1946. So don't talk to me about denial. Tastelessness is proof of guilt as far as I'm concerned. Virginia Woolf said it perfectly. It may be senseless stammering, but it's what I wanted to say. Yes, I'm aware that Virginia Woolf was a lesbian. I'm a man of culture. No, I'm not a criminal and a man of culture. I am a man of culture because I am a criminal because I'm a man of culture. Look, I'm cutting this short because all this Wagner's really getting on my tits. Brecht is the only German I get along with. I share his views on operas and musicals, you know? Federico suddenly comes back to life. It's surreal, clownish.
That was well put. It seems a very pleasant way to deal with the aftermath.
Aftermath? That word suffers from excessive overuse in Shanghai. The city was pissed off because Beijing got the Olympics 2008, right? 4 minutes after the closing ceremony in Beijing, Shanghai inaugurates the tallest skyscraper in China. 3rd tallest in the world. And 7 minutes later, they opened the biggest contemporary art show in Asia, which, if you think about it, is a direct consequence of Shanghai investing big in fashion, banks, and law firms. Now, am I fucking Shanghai or what?
I really couldn't say, but the speech you just delivered...
I was in character. A research scientist advancing our understanding of nutrition, financed by various multinationals who are ill at ease with the direction his work is taking. He dedicates his free time to conceptual art and finding ways to travel without passing through customs. He publishes his findings on the web, on sites accessible from public computers, and one of these routes takes him to a refugee camp run by the president of Médecins Sans Frontières. Look, you could at least pretend my story isn't shit, couldn't you?
Well, you look tense. Do you need a rub?
Federico pulls the darts from out of his chest. The Ruhr Valley depressed me. I can't believe they rejected my research project. And what goes through my mind? What do I do? Where do I go? The Great Games Arcade, that Trump Tower of Europe that is London.
Well paid, no?
Yes, but God, the English. Imagine, I'm the scientific consultant to a playwright. A playwright who, right from the get-go, is afflicted with writer's block, so pissed off, I scribble a half-decent monologue. Half-decent only because I'm pissed off, not because I possess any dramatic talent. And these arseholes, they read the monologue, fire the playwright, and commission the text from me, who doesn't understand the first fucking thing about dramaturgy. Fucking glorious, no?
Well, put yourself in my shoes.
Why? You like your job, don't you?
Yeah, I love it, but it can be difficult sometimes.
Was that aimed at me? Don't beat about the bush.
No,
If you want to...
I never say anything to anyone.
I'm always ill at ease with you high-class escorts. Right from the get-go. Offering drinks to the client, asking if they want to watch a porno. You kick off with the least classy things.
Do you want a high-class escort?
Yes, I want a high-class escort.
Such taste.
Look, this is the first time that I have been on a second date with a tart. In the past, alas, Einstein and Freud were friends. I don't particularly like comparing personalities,
You
but
suffered a Freudian slip in London.
I'll give you a Freudian slip. Do you know why I decided to come back? I dreamed last night I was in the street. There were 2 street lamps, one alight and one not. And at first, I stood under the one that was off, and then I moved over to the one that was on. But at that point, the one that was on switched off, and the one that was switched off turned on, and I sashayed between the two of them, and it kept on happening, you know, and then you turned up and you said, "Be careful, you'll get a shock."
And you got a shock.
I did not get a shock. You know what it is? You know what it is? It's Mark Rothko, the painter. You remember him? The sense of the tragic is always with me when I paint. That's what he said. These canvases he painted for New York's Four Seasons restaurant, all very glamorous. He systematically, painstakingly researched every colour involved in their creation, yet the collectors bought his work because it matched the curtains. Unsurprising then that Rothko killed himself. You want to understand why I put a gangster in the monologue? I do the same thing, ever since getting here from Italy on my glittering world of research grant from the University of Bochum.
Researching what, exactly?
Dark matter, dark energy. Respectively, they account for 25 and 70% of matter in the universe. Both highly appealing replacements for our threadbare religions. Protons, neutrons, standard matter, or if you prefer everything else, occupies just 5%. It's all true, no bullshit.
Dark matter.
It seems to seep through standard matter without the slightest interaction. Okay, a few particles here and there enable it to form, but it's... Dark matter is very clear to me. It'll take centuries to obtain a detailed analysis, plus the technology allowing us to control space and time.
I am dark matter.
A pause. Adamo stares at Federico. You fucking scare me. I mean, I could be in a room with a psycho. That blowjob before.
Oh, you say that to all your clients?
Huh? I want to come too. All your clients?
Every single one.
You don't find it incongruous that the character in the monologue is a food scientist and a gangster?
Well, imagine your monologue is like a marvelous piece of haute couture. You saw it in the window, you gave it due consideration, then bought it.
But underneath, terror at the prospect of ending up a slave to the business of science whose experiments outlive the lifetime of its scientists, from job insecurity to job insecurity. I'm incapable either dispassionately or serenely of guiding someone through the forest of my most intimate secrets. I go to my woods on my only lonesome. I imagine that you do more or less the same thing. A different wood, perhaps, another path, alone with yourself. How many woods must a man walk through before deciding to come to Italy from Amsterdam? To come from Italy to Amsterdam, what about this for a plan? Tomorrow morning I go to the zoo and jump into the tiger's cage and have it devour me.
Spectacular!
I suddenly hear Renzo Piano pronouncing, "Creating a spectacle isn't difficult. The difficulty lies in creating a spectacle that makes sense." I'm thinking suicide, natural disaster hybrid. Rather like Canary Wharf, the day the Lehman Brothers became a train wreck. The mob of sacked bankers decamping to all bar one of my favourite bars, by the way. To all get hammered together for the very last time. Men of high finance, bottles of alcohol, cappuccinos at exorbitant prices, and now, the cronyism we breed in Italy. Now that is spectacular. The mafia, the Camorra, the Ndrangheta, the Masons, and the Vatican. We've even invented fringe cronyism. For example, in the 16th century, we invented France. A pause. Federico is looking lost. Caterina de Medici.
Can't say I know her.
You've never heard of Caterina de Medici. You tried to make me look. I met this priest at the Italian Institute of Culture in Dortmund, Don Ottavio or something from the Catholic mission in Essen. How difficult managing a Western Catholic mission is, he said. He's got this odd Venetian accent. You can't be too greasily religious. You have to say things like fantastalicious. And I swear I'm not making this up. It's all true. I told him, one never says fantastalicious. The correct term is fantastigasm.
Some people should write down what they want to say before opening their mouths.
Meaning me?
Alluding to the priest, actually.
Priest? What priest?
Well, some people can lose weight and stay trim by keeping a note in a diary of what they eat.
Jotting down their words as they say them. Fucking futile. Food's a lot scarier than words these days. Get this. Some time ago, the president of the Institute of Bankers was gossiping with me about some feeble 70-year-old queen.
People of that generation.
I was pissed off, seething because he'd refused me a loan. Mr. President, I said, why don't you commission Maurizio Catalan to make a scale replica of yourself right here on this beautiful 18th century balcony, arse out, trousers down. Just imagine the passing cars. Wonderful idea, he replied. Wrong foot the critics with a safe investment.
Wrong foot the critics with a safe investment. Now, that's art.
How do we find the temerity to defy them? These priests and bankers. How do we oppose a complex system with such a mastery over the bilge it communicates? We should fight in some African war, get buggered by some ballistic warlord, and when our eyes have been eaten out, we can return to Western social assistance, get given a stick and a caregiver to help us as we shuffle about with our moral bearings, given the necessary reboot. It'd be the Brechtian finale to the play that I have got to write. The completely blind protagonist turning to the nurse who assists him. I dreamed last night I was in a 16th century house. I felt I was a guest in my own home. I ventured into a small room, or perhaps it was a corridor, and there was a window, and I could see an ancient fountain with dolphins swimming and jumping inside. Strange, I said to myself. I don't remember my house having such a beautiful fountain. How nice. Which restaurant shall we go to tonight? Should I take my umbrella? How's the weather? And the nurse replies, the weather is clear. And the protagonist says, then let's take a walk. And out they shuffle. What do you think?
Your monologue was better.
Look, I don't need to pay to fuck flashy kids like you. As far as I'm concerned, sex can quite peacefully, and when I say peacefully, I mean peacefully, sex can quite peacefully coexist with friendship. I mean, let's face it, I have a way with words, a certain charisma. I've been taken to bed with assurances of love and friendship. I've even argued before fucking. And I've been fucked as an apology for misunderstandings. And then, let's be honest, there is the difference in age and the difference in IQ, which the young and pretty often take to be A, I'm falling in love with them, or B, I'm friendly because I want to fuck them. Even in my innermost intimacy, things are difficult. I spend my life brawling with incoherence.
And how's that battle going?
There's always that extra hurdle. Federico indicates the audience.
You see this mirror?
Uh-huh.
There's a camera behind.
What?
At the end of an evening with a client I feel particularly comfortable with, I photograph myself. It puts me at ease, and I shan't tell you if I'm comfortable with you, but I would like you to know, keep it to yourself. I slip the photographs between the pages of books. I love the idea that in years to come, in an old book, someone comes across.
What's the night like in the photos that you take?
Similar to dark matter
sound of a record player slowly gathering speed. It becomes Justin Bieber's Sorry. Sporadic flashes of light accompany the song. The pulsating neon sign illuminates the toy shop window. A Tesla car has ploughed through the window. Its headlights are on and the doors are open. A fog surrounds the car. Blood, glass, and broken toys are under the wheels. The white flakes blanket the crime scene. Gabriella stirs. She staggers out of the car, looking about. She turns off the music. She tries to leave, but a security guard, vigilantes, standing on a Segway, prevents her escape.
You're not to abandon the scene of the crime.
Who's abandoning? I promised my son a souvenir from Brussels.
She bends down, shaking off white flakes from the broken toys, looking for something.
I want a miniature mannequin PIS. If there are any, I'll take two. One for my son, one for his biological father. He's Swedish. I can never remember his surname, a typical Swedish surname. Ibrahimovic. That's it, yeah. 16 years ago, he donated his sperm. I'd like to return the favour.
Even if you find it, you're not buying it.
Since when does the security guard decide?
There's no one left to sell it to. You've killed everyone.
Well, not everyone, surely.
Everyone. I've checked. Damla, who worked at the tills, been waiting years, she has, for her family to be given asylum. That was meant to be today. Damla was going to leave work early to meet her husband and kids at the airport, reunited at last, but now they'll be sent back. Without Damla, her husband and kids aren't allowed to be in the country. Back to the war for them.
I love eating dolma.
Dalma, not Dogma. You ran over Dalma. Can't you tell the difference?
Can't, to be honest. Not the way you say it, anyway. I ran over dolma. Poor dolma dakia.
And a Chinese couple, a man and woman.
What were their names? Tell me so I can feel better. No, wait, I'll try and guess. Was it Beijing, Peking, duck, and what do you call that? Jiangsu, Paunu, lamb soup?
I don't know what it's called, but they're orphan children in the cafe.
Have the Chinese nothing better to do in Brussels than heartlessly abandon their children in a cafe?
It's better to have entered from your car.
Better off staying in China with rice and grasshoppers.
Should say iPhones and sat-navs. That's all the Chinese make.
He looks at the corpses. Gabriella laughs.
What's funny?
Chances are they manufactured my Tesla. Likely as not, the very same car that killed them because their autopilot broke while I was on the phone they probably made. I should have stayed home with their rice and grasshoppers. World would be a far safer place, but no. They decided to come and live here with us. They came here.
What's up with your airbags?
How should I know? Better ask them.
They should be filled with air, not powder.
He tastes the powder.
It's Coke.
No. Tastes the powder.
Obviously, that must be how they work. Cushions are always filled with something. At IKEA, it's goose feather. At Tesla, it's Coke.
Listen, I've got an Alfa Romeo. I've had accidents with airbags go off. But never Coke.
Alfa Romeo, are you gay?
No.
Weird. Gays generally go for the Alfa Romeo.
First I've heard of it.
I'm telling you.
I've got to Google that.
Really, there's no need.
So give me a phone.
I'm not giving you my phone to Google. Way too much personal information on it.
Fine, I'll use a Chinese phone.
Pulls out the phone from the pocket of the Chinese woman lying on the ground, rubs cocaine from his nose, and giggles.
Peking Duck's got an iPhone 7.
Not funny.
A minute ago you were wetting yourself.
It's gone.
I know what you mean. I can't stop laughing.
Taking the hand of the dead Chinese woman.
You need to take it pretty slow.
Sniggering, he places one finger after another on the phone.
I feel terrible, right down to my soul. I've gone all Dostoevsky. I'm guilty of something I didn't do, but will have to atone for all the sins of all those around me.
Gabriella starts crying. Vigilantes is in stitches.
None of her fingers were.
Some people use their toes.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's have a look.
He removes the corpse's trainers.
New Balance.
That's another very gay brand.
Toe after toe on the phone.
She's beyond caring, I reckon. Problem now, she's wearing tights. Can't read the prints.
Take them off then.
Right.
Pulling up her skirt.
Oh, that's not good.
What?
Knickers over tights.
Oh, Chinese tradition?
I'll Google that.
He whips off her knickers. A quick sniff. Gabriella rolls her eyes. Vigilantes attempts to remove the tights by pulling from the feet.
What are you doing?
What you said.
That way you'll ladder them. You never pulled tights off a woman before?
Of course I have.
Looking at the corpse.
Never had no complaints.
From the waist down. That way they won't ladder. They're fogo. Expensive.
I'll Google that.
Gabriella takes the tights off the dead woman. The vigilantes places toe after toe on the screen. A policewoman, pregnant and dragging a pram, enters through the smashed shop window.
What is going on here?
Jailbreak.
What?
They're tampering with an iPhone. How old do you reckon this is?
No idea, but I'm here because of the accident. Who's the Tesla?
Nice pram. 3 gears. Handbrake. If the child's going too fast in trips, yeah, it's got special alloy handle. They'll never break any teeth. Lovely toy. Just buy it.
It's a toy. I thought it was a proper pram.
It's a toy. Look at the size of it.
What?
It's tiny.
Well, so are kids.
Not returning it then.
No way. Everyone else is up at some terrorist incident, but they sent me here because it's quite the best piece of luck I've ever had. Even a pram.
I'd like to see your receipt if you don't mind.
Well, I paid.
And I believe you, but
But I had a KFC boneless banquet, skipped breakfast at home, I bought wings, I ate them, and I wiped my fingers on the receipt, I threw it away.
damn with this hill girl's dead.
I saw, yes. Is that her phone you got?
Just wanted to Google.
Google what?
Are Folgen tights expensive or not?
Is wearing knickers over tights a Chinese tradition or not?
Are New Balance trainers gay?
Or not?
Is an Alfa Romeo a gay
Oh,
car?
Are Tesla airbags filled with cocaine?
this snow isn't melting.
You see, this is the reason.
This is your vehicle?
It's mine.
A phone rings from inside the Tesla. The answer machine kicks in, and we hear Adamo's voice. Hello, lovely. Look, sorry about before. I couldn't speak, so I hung up to my knees, gutting a politician's nephew with bandahiyas. He laughs. You could have bloody returned the call and given me some feedback. I'll say it again. Look, why do you treat me like shit when I ask nicely for something? Not everything needs to be taken as a provocation. I didn't ask you for Al Capone. I asked you for Samuel, who's right round the corner and is a professional. Why am I a shit? No, just tell me. Just explain to me why I'm a shit. And what I'm saying is, you're the fucking gangster. A gangster, you understand, not some Wagnerian soprano with a dick. Talking to you is like being stuck in a fucking German opera. Wir sind die große Organisation Deutschlandes. Oh, I'm sorry. I have no time to go to therapy. But believe me, I'd relish telling a therapist the fantasies I've had about you. And they're not erotic fantasies either. Don't talk to me about egotism and lack of vision. You Germans have littered the dance floor with corpses since 1946. So don't talk to me about denial. Tastelessness is proof of guilt as far as I'm concerned. Virginia Woolf said it perfectly. It may be senseless stammering, but it's what I wanted to say. Yes, of course I know that Virginia Woolf was a lesbian. I'm a man of culture. No, I'm not a criminal and a man of culture. I'm a criminal because I'm a man of culture. Look, I'm cutting this short because all this Wagner's really getting on my tits. Brecht is the only German I can get along with. I share his views on operas and musicals, you know? Well, share your thoughts. After all, it's not as though you've got a lot to fucking do in Brussels right now. Aren't you blowing up the European Parliament today?
From jailbreak to terrorist attack.
What?
You drove this car through a shop window. Miss your target, did you?
That autopilot left me in the lurch.
That's a shame. The rest of your cell won't like that one little bit.
Won't like that one little bit.
Well, you missed your target and you're still alive. Are you a suicide bomber?
I'm a research fellow. I did the computational analysis on the singularity.
Look, you're just meters away.
From what?
The European Parliament, just meters away from this toy shop.
So, I come from another country. I was going home when the sat-nav. What's that got to do with the Parliament?
What's the yield of the nuclear device you installed in this vehicle?
I couldn't tell you. It's electric. The dealership might know.
The fallout from the explosion. A scientist would know. The evidence against you is mounting.
Listen, that's not fallout. It's cocaine, right? And if you put it like that, and hold my hands up, it's cocaine. I need it for some experiments I'm conducting.
Radiation. Oh, if my child is born deformed, I guarantee you won't even get a trial. Our prisons are full of Georgian mafia I put away. We give them barbecues for their sasaki, and in exchange, they break the necks of anyone we ask them to.
I'm going to Google that.
It's cocaine. I worked in a lab. My calculations are precise. In 2045, we'll have the technological singularity.
What's that?
Artificial intelligence will assume control and thus give meaning to life. We'll be free from ourselves, from biology, from death, feelings, thoughts. We will become what? We didn't get that far with the research. They closed us down. If I wanted to exact revenge, I'd have driven my car into Bochum University, not a toy shop window.
Bochum University?
Yes. They suspended our research grant. With this flow of immigrants, it means rechanneling cash. Why think about the future when the present requires barbed wire and concrete for camps and border walls? I decided to leave, go somewhere my work is appreciated. Ever heard of the Philadelphia experiment?
Time travel?
That's a topic off limits within the scientific community. Time travel and cocaine are closely linked. My calculations are precise. The contents of the airbags should see me through until 2045. I have to live to see the age of immortality, when humans have infinitely extended their lives, when we are free to do things we haven't even thought of, unhampered by death, all that free time. I have to prove that I, you, we can be free.
I'll get promoted for this. Single-handedly neutralized a terrorist.
Single-handed? I'm not toy shop security. I'm an officer working a covert operation.
Why do you want my receipt?
Part of my cover. 15 years work. But today I came back here.
Hello, I'm not a terrorist. I'm a scientist. Scientific discovery comes at a price. If I ran over someone over, I'm ready to share the responsibility with the Tesla Corporation and Google. I was using their app maps, and they're equally guilty. And this idiot who called me, I really don't know what he's on about. They've withdrawn our research grant, our lab. We organised a farewell party, drank a few too many, decided upon revenge by kidnapping relatives of famous politicians and stabbing them with banderillas, because generally after everything that's happened to us, we thought no one should go unpunished. But it was a joke.
Why did you have your seatbelt on?
What do you mean? Why? For safety.
So you didn't want to save yourself?
Yes, I have a child who I look after. School fees, and not to mention paying for his free time. Can I call him? Am I allowed a telephone call? I am, aren't I?
While she's on the phone, her accomplices will be completely their operation.
Well,
I don't know. We need to make a scene.
we'll allow you a phone call if you give us one thing.
Namely,
We're going to fix you up with a wire and then release you.
you're gonna let me go.
Right.
The cocaine?
You can forget about that. You're free to go. Your accomplices discover their plans.
What are they planning on hitting next?
Reducing to dust.
Blowing up.
Who are they planning on skewering?
I've got to what? Spy on my friends. Just arrest me for possession and leave me in peace.
We'll never know peace again. This choice of yours, banged up for terrorism offences or free to act as our law.
With pockets full of coke.
Can you give me a minute to think?
Sure.
She recovers an iPad from the ground, wipes off the cocaine.
Take this, Skype your son, and tell him you're cooperating. If that doesn't happen within the next 5 minutes, you'll be banged up for 20.
And you'll drop the court charges.
Vigilantes gives a nod,
They'll be dropped.
Peking duck as well.
And the lamb soup.
indicating the corpses.
Here.
No, stop.
Breaking the piece of chocolate that he has offered in half.
This half I'll give to the Chinese kids. Stop them crying.
Gabriella cries. She notices the chocolate wrapper.
Caramel and pecan. Disgusting.
Yeah, who cares? God knows why, but I'll make you feel better. It will make you feel better.
Eat up, don't cry. Look how much chocolate you've got. Have a nibble. Have a piece. Well, nibble. I cried too when they recruited me. I loved selling toys. PAW, patrol puppies. Another nibble. Then I began to monitor them. The toys. Ryder, Carlos. Go on, another nibble. And the members of the European Parliament. Donald. Theresa. I'll defend my toys from people like you. Terrorists. Now we're all part of the same unit.
A room in a modern art gallery. A Sol-Loic drawing on the wall. Adamo and Federico are viewing the collection. They enter in mid-conversation. And they do this thing with chocolate. They expose it to the electromagnetic brainwaves of Tibetan monks, which they found a way of recording. And after 5 days, it's then sold. I mean, how else do you explain why people feel better after eating chocolate? Could be why. In my dream last night, I thought, here I could prosper if I could only bury my fears deeply enough. And then natives arrived in their tribal dress and they approached me and I thought, well, this is the end. But then one of them took me by my arm and I felt such pleasure. My first thought was, this shirt fits like a glove, even though I wasn't wearing a thing. And I had a little speck of blood on my wrist, but the shirt, it fitted me perfectly. And I remember in a corner of the village, there was this guy who organises drag queen shows back home. And he attacked me with broken glass, threatening me because he said the government was prepared to fund my research, but not his art. And he stood there getting drunk, and I thought, I want to go, but where? And my answer was the 18th century. I found myself in a room shaped like a cranium, with a baby dressed in 18th century clothes. I did feel relieved that I could live beyond time, and the cranial shape of my room must have had something to do with my father's foil. Subarachnoid hemorrhage.
I didn't know. Should I?
Well, how can we be so oblivious to the real world? Adamo looks at the wall drawing. Am I the only one who thinks that conceptual art is moving? Looking at the wall drawing and his gallery catalogue.
He drew 10,000 lines, 30 centimeters in length, uniformly filling walls. What could possibly move me?
When I told Julia about me and Nuran, she placed my right hand across her lips, urging me to shut my mouth. He points to another drawing which is hanging on the fourth wall. Look at this field of darkness, playing with the white wall. Soldewitt made a lot of these before he died. It's a portal made of fog. It needs to be crossed. Do you like it?
Elegant.
Extending human rights to apes is elegant, but it doesn't mean that...
Your friend, Gabriella.
Friend? She wanted to call a toy shop Freetime.
Did you see the film where the wild things are? There's this child, Max, who when he's sad sees gigantic beasts full of feathers, wings, and horns, irrational and dangerous. Carol, one of the monsters, tells him, "I like how you destroy things."
Do you want to know why I was so pissed off at the cafe? It was the Soldewitt salads.
They were very nice.
Unconsciously, a museum cafe is antagonistic. They wipe away any idea of solidity to provide a reality we have to pay for. It's a fucking freak show. And that lesbian waitress you were talking to, the one who refused to serve a full pint, oh, she's a good example. The fucking problem with these freaks with their strange clothes, their belief that happiness can only be achieved on an individual level, their fucking freakish idea that work doesn't exist. The problem with these freaks is that they appear more human than human. Now I understand that you, as a whore, think you must have that beautiful dress. You must have a well-developed visual personality, or you'll sink into the quagmire of the hive. I also know that you believe the most interesting place in a museum of modern art is the coffee shop.
Well, actually, it's the toilet. There's a fountain. I always forget.
That is the fourth time that you have impersonated me since we've been in the cafe.
Closed boxes always mimic open books.
You should be more like me and shun compassion for people just because they appear human. Oh, by the way, I want to stop off at Zevenaar on the way back. I want to go to Termac Tobacco. At some point in the 1970s, they discovered a correlation between the boredom that workers suffer from their repetitive routine and decreases in production. So they hung up abstract art in factories. Production went through the roof. Those abstracts are now up at auction. That's when the piss started to be taken. Now Walmart sells personalized digital assistants to monitor our productivity.
I understand subtext, you're pushing it a bit.
Pushing what?
Emotional buttons.
Well, you know what Gabriella said.
Why?
After reading my last research project, I'm very suspicious. She made some show of correcting herself later on by saying, "Oh, I meant curious. After so long in Germany, my Italian is slipping."
Do you want your friends to be fake sincerity, or not?
It runs a lot deeper than that. You can't imagine how angry she'd become talking about work. I've no talent for research. People like her are born to rot among the plebs. I've got the impression she wanted to go to jail. You know, Salinger's 9 stories structurally resemble 8 hours sleep. 2 of them have such wide panoramas, it provides the others with space to breathe. I suppose it's normal. There's always something or someone attempting to galvanize you into being by announcing, "Hello, here I am." There was a war movie that I saw when I was 15 or 16. Perhaps it was Platoon. Left me cold at the cinema. Its significance only really struck me some days later.
Well, chewing it over is pointless. Some things bore you, other things thrill you. It's just how things are. You can't pick them apart. A man can talk like a baby, and a baby can have seen things beyond their years. You accept it for what it is, not because of this or because of that.
Nostalgia and the stench of war. I feel fucking awful. Can you smell something, or is it just me?
Oh, it's lasagna coming from the
Oh, Italians. Lasagna, coffee, Catholicism.
Dusseldorf meeting priests.
Gabriella's locker at the station. The bag for her parents. What's that fucking priest called with the keys? That priest from the Catholic mission in Essen. The one who was always up my ass.
Don Ottaviano.
Yes! What time do Gabriella's parents leave?
5. We should get a move on if you want to see the rest of the exhibition.
Wasting our time at this masturbation installation.
That's why we came, isn't it?
Absolutely not. I am here for the Witt's wall drawings. I wanted to ask that priest, so, who's the real Don Ottaviano? You are a mystery to me. You're Venetian like Tony Negri. I know Tony Negri very well. You use the same words as Tony. This reason alone makes you highly cultured, but when you also use words like country priest, you've ruined your career and not learned a thing, not even to save face. After all, what use is culture? Who is the real Don Ottaviano?
I met Tony Negri once. We slept with the students from Venice the morning after we sang punk.
You really think that that's what he would have said?
Well, you might have if you'd not told him you were fucking new around.
So, why should he care? I could understand Gabriella caring, but then no, not even Gabriella. Nurdan's her ex. I think that's why he's angry with the world. Adamo imitates the priest. How could it cross their minds to send a Salesian from Verona to the Ruhr Valley? It's so flat. Not just any Salesian either. A Salesian who teaches mathematics and biology and has a passion for geology and mountains. Makes me seethe, not only makes me seethe, but makes me wretched also. It saddens me. He fails to understand that rivers run down mountains.
Explain something to me. You told Julia about Nuran because you wanted to share a secret with her. Julia told you about the checkout girl at the supermarket looking at her son. Julia tells the checkout girl he's going to remain an only child, and she replies, "Oh, you'll see when you're feeling guilty, you'll see."
No. Julia already knew that. I told her before. I'm telling you so that you understand.
By performing a kind of experiment to control me? Look, I've stopped reading. I've even stopped books controlling me. Do you know I'm ashamed to talk about the books I read? I want to become a sort of contradictory saint. My books are full of dust and the nude photos I slip between the pages.
I was thinking about the second time we met. Was it the best moment, I wonder? It was an elegant moment, no? And then what happened? Do you know why it came to mind? I went to see my father. I went to a concert in the Sala Nardi. I was invited. Inspiration strikes when you least expect it, when your guard is down. Anyway, there were projections during the concert. Starry skies drawn by children overlapped with skies photographed by a telescope, and I thought, no, this cannot be. Theories laid out by theoretical physicists are based on elegance and beauty in relation to the order of the cosmos, but who said elegance must be concurrent with scientific truth? It could be elegance prevents us from finding the truth. Tell me something. Gabriella said, I keep praying for this mess, Gabriella. That Belgian toy shop franchise isn't successful, so what does she do? Buys drugs for cash. For the love of her son. She suffers some kind of breakdown and plows her car into the toy shop. Why? Because it's human. It's graceful saying that you strive for the love of your child. One should work for money, not for love. I'm with you too, because I want to learn. I don't want to miss out on things because of a book or a teacher or because of someone's hair or the beating of wings, or just for the sake of making a point. I want to unlearn everything I know. There are people who know everything and nothing else. Machiavelli. I don't want to be like that.
Look, sorry, but I really need a wee. I've been rather rushing my peeing in the last few days. Let me go and I'll relax me a bit. I promise I'll be outside the museum in time to meet the Gabrielle's parents.
He exits quickly without giving Adama time to answer. Adama stands immobile. He looks out. He raises a hand as though to touch a wall drawing, as though trying to cross the threshold of Lewitt's painting. He stops, drops his hand, steps back, is immobile again, then, still alone, says, "Fine. Bye." A soul Lewitt dissolves, line by line, and we understand that we are looking at an enormous iPad. The Skype icon appears on the screen. Gabriella is calling somebody called Marcello. An adolescent head fills the screen and doesn't move. Someone's naked bottom fills the background. "Mom! Fantastic! I've been thinking about you for weeks. We absolutely have to talk. Finally you called. There's a bond between us, Mum. I love you, and I absolutely need a Montclair hoodie, yeah? Look, I know it's 600 euros, but you know, it's Kanye West. So it costs, yeah? It's grey, with yellow stripes. No, it's really jubblies. What? I can't hear you, Mum. Speak up. Or text. What name? I changed my what? Oh, my Skype moniker. Yeah, do you like it? Marcello. After Marcello Mastroianni. Mum, you know what Mastroianni said? Men spend their entire lives looking for a woman to be their mother. What? What? I don't understand. Who's Marcello Mastroianni? Oh my God, I can't believe you don't know. If you get married, I just know your husband will look exactly like him. You know that dopey kind of look? Hat, glasses, a suit, even in the morning, like the accused. Guilty for meeting you. Guilty from birth. Guilty of... Look, I brought a friend home. He's a new kid from my class. His parents are system programmers from the Tyrol. He's really lonely. He only speaks Italian and he's mad about Fellini and Marissa Berenson. Yeah? See, you've already taken an interest. What? No, he's not just an arse. He's called Matteo and I invited him home. You know why? I saw you in his eyes. Freak? No! I saw you in his eyes. Oh, by the way, he pushes aside Matteo's arse and pulls out some envelopes and letters. There's some bills have come, yeah? Way too expensive. Now, I know you left money for the house, food. I don't know how, but the cash is just gone. And not for the food or the house bills, but it's gone anyway. And these bills, they just keep on coming. So can you believe that Matteo's mum, yeah? Matteo's mum had a vaginoplasty to save her marriage. And when Matteo was born, right, he pulled everything inside out down there. And his dad, yeah, he was scared about doing it with her, terrorized, you know, that his penis would just vanish like a sausage down a dark alley. So she did it, and they're back together. They're really happy. My fault that you're not remarried, Mum? Is it my fault? Was I a normal birth? Was my birth like normal? Look, if it was easier to go to a sperm donator, I don't know, did I pull you inside out, Mum? Like a normal baby does to a normal mum. God, look, get me the Montclair hoodie and get a vaginoplasty, Mum. Skype closes, and line by line, square by square, Sol the Wit reappears. In front of a panelled wall is a massage table. Gabriella lying face down and naked. The policewoman is filling out forms on her back. She passes them to vigilantes under the table so that Gabriella can sign them.
Yet another bad impression I made for my son.
Well, just don't make one with us. Keep in mind that after we inserted the microphone, your partner can feel some discomfort during relations. Have you got a partner?
You mean a colleague?
She means, do you use the same rope to climb the Great Wall of Vagina, or grab others left hanging around?
Climb what? Come on, you've stripped my body and now my soul? I'm not going to answer that. Fine, alright, there's no one. Just me and my son.
You'll have to change the battery once or every 2 weeks, and let me warn you, we can only guarantee the safety of the device if you use GP green cell batteries. We would like to think green for our planet. Only dispose of the batteries is authorized locations and sign here.
She passes vigilantes a form, who in turn passes it to Gabriella.
Use of generic batteries could result in the device exploding, particularly at high altitudes. Do you enjoy Nordic walking?
Why do I need to sign all these forms?
Well, if you don't go in for that sort of thing, I suggest walking without ski poles. Leaning on sticks could cause the device to slip out.
Where are you going to stick it?
Didn't you read? If the river's red, try the dirt track instead. The contract you signed, you know? You just agreed.
Well, no one reads the terms and conditions.
Such disregard for rules. You're putting it up your vagina. You sign the necessary documents.
Where?
Hope you're not vegetarian.
So, last document. Should you inform anyone what you're carrying, we possess the right to explode the device.
Explode?
Yes, it will remove any doubts about being a terrorist. Your vagina will blow a hole a mile wide.
Will it? Where?
Oh, ignorance is a bliss. At that point, it won't matter. I'll get some leave when my son is born. I dream of free time. But that's not exactly free time, is it? Changing nappies, preparing food, breastfeeding. I'll be my son's slave. Joyfully remembering the carefree time catching terrorists like you.
Spread, pulls out a tube of lubricant and sits on
Yes.
Gabriella.
Yes. Wait a second. The Durex play?
10 points.
Let me get a photo. Got a contract with Durex. If I plaster my Instagram with their products, they give me free condoms.
How many followers have you got?
50,000. The Home Office lets me accumulate likes in exchange for public money. Just another excuse for finding terrorists online. I'm part of a secret government program, and I slept my photos online under my hashtag pregnant topless is trending.
Oh, I'm following you. My name is Gigi Luigi.
Well, you're the one who puts Ken and Barbie on his cock and then does puppet shows?
The very same. How did this job? What doesn't go through your mind?
Well, talking of cocks, get Slobo.
Vigilantes exits to another room. The policewoman grabs a towel and sprays it with aromatic liquid. She covers Gabriella's face.
Just relax now. This is an essential oil extract of Kenyan cocoa. Can you smell?
I can't smell a thing. Not since I was a girl.
Well, everything's a problem with you, isn't it? Look, just lay quiet and breathe deeply while we insert the microphone.
Will it hurt? Will you tell me? Yes or no?
Relax, you won't feel a thing.
The lights go out. A glow-in-the-dark toy microphone and a puppet of Klaus Willi Miner, who is the lead singer of the Scorpions, enter, attached to the penises of Vigilantes and Slobo. Music. Klaus approaches the microphone. Vigilantes spins round. A drummer puppet is stuck in his arse. The microphone issues feedback. Vigilante spins round again. Back to Klaus. He starts singing Wind of Change.
Follow the star down to Gorky Park.
climb on Gabriella, and at the end of the song, the toy microphone disappears up Gabriella's vagina. Lights. Slobo, naked, signs the form handed to him by the policewoman.
Why?
Really?
You said I wouldn't feel a thing, but I felt ecstasy.
Slobo.
Yes, sir.
Slobo, you're not supposed to make people feel ecstasy. Just do what you're told to do.
Yes, sir.
Go to school and learn to say something else than yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Slobo, you're getting on my tits, and 70% of my country's tits. You and your fellow countrymen could at least try to learn the
We
language.
do everything for you. Donate food, clothes, set up camps, find you jobs, integrate you in society. But we need to see results. We need to see that you at least like it here, for fuck's sake. They bombed you back home. They don't like you, okay? We invited you here, and even we don't like you.
Thanks.
I don't need thanking. Simple, elementary. Learn to speak. You're in the police force now, you dirty little bastard.
Thank you, ma'am.
Slobo, you're not given permission to talk. Dismissed.
Gabriella shouts after him.
You can get dressed.
No, a bit longer, please. Can I? It's so nice lying here.
It's the oil.
No, it was Slobo.
Once the oil wears off, you'll be in agony.
I'm always in agony. I lied to my son. There was a man. He had a father who never wanted sex. He worked for UNICEF. He was a celebrity trainer. Some actor or footballer gets appointed a goodwill ambassador, and he'd explain what it all meant. What to do so children won't suffer. He was always so tired. He'd come home from work, fill the bath full with boiling water, pouring in wonderful oils. I'd join him, get him dressed and get in with him, and he'd hug me with every last ounce of his strength. He'd cry, nothing else, just tears. We got pregnant, he left me. One evening, there was a knock at the door. Orlando Bloom stood there in his Lord of the Rings costume. He'd brought my son some present from UNICEF and an apology from my husband. He made Legolas an ambassador. I couldn't forgive him. It still hurts a lot. I don't want my son to know that his father exists. Totally removing someone from your life is the best revenge. So I invented this artificial insemination story. Better that than being the result of bath time tears. You'll be a mother soon. Put yourself in my shoes. Can I please go?
Well, you've been free to go for over 5 minutes.
She gets up.
What do I need to do?
Go where you're going and do what you're doing. You'll get a new Tesla, and cocaine will make any difference if it's not in the airbags.
No, it's fine. It's probably more practical.
Well, everything you signed will be kept secret unless some Snowden type hacks our system.
And if that happens,
We deny everything.
what happens to me?
You'll be there.
Where?
Where you were in such a hurry to get off? Your future singularity.
The policewoman turns out the light. A large wall plastered with shreds of posters, photos of politicians, various Chinese and Russian communist propaganda. A soiree of colour. The phrase masturbation installation is on the wall. 2 large, unlit neon signs, one above the other. Adamo and Federico. At an intermediate height between the 2 neon lights, another sign reads, Wins. Adamo and Federico sit, masturbating furiously.
This exhibition, my masturbation installation, was produced and created without EU funds. I grew up with a promise of happiness made by communism and Western social democracy. The seduction of possessing extinct universes in your head.
Adamo and Federico continue to masturbate furiously. Hearing this last phrase, Adamo whispers, "No, no, no," and his dick goes soft.
Thus, we precipitate a parallel universe. Masturbation convulses the universe. Winning will have consequences.
Federico continues to masturbate. "Yes, yes, I'm coming, I'm coming." He ejaculates spectacularly. The neon Federico lights up, the writing "wins" flashes. A bedroom. Federico lying on the bed in Gucci underpants reading the newspaper. The door to the bathroom is brusquely yanked open. Federico's wife, Nada, stands half naked on the threshold. She is wearing thigh-high leather boots. She stares at Federico.
Was it right?
Perfectly.
The size?
Even the size. They're exactly what I wanted.
She strikes an erotic pose. Federico glances briefly at her, then returns to his reading.
Tells me off.
Again.
Well, I'm tired. I had 3 classes today and I'm sorry.
Why do you do this?
Do what?
You buy me these boots, you get me to wear them, touch me, stroke me, and then when I'm ready and willing, you're reading the newspaper because you're tired.
It happens to get distracted.
Nada sits on the bed and attempts to pull off the boots.
What put you off? That?
It's about the rainbow experiment.
Gay research?
No, the Philadelphia experiment. The Navy wanted to make a ship invisible, but instead launched it into the future.
When did that happen?
Long time ago, during the Second World War, the ship evaporated and ciao.
Oh, which was the Second World War again? Is that one with Saddam? You know, you're probably the only person here who reads a newspaper. There are iPads now and iPhones. Just top up and browse the news or whatever. I was reading this thing at work today. Some guy tried to jump off a bridge. This woman comes up to him with a bag of keys and says, "Could you take these with you?"
Nada guffaws. Federico gets out of bed, picks up Nada's boots and sniffs them.
"What are you doing? Put them down."
Federico jams a boot to his nose, takes a deep sniff.
"You look like Dumbo."
Federico looks at Nada.
"Disney elephants?"
He drops the boot, comes over to sit beside her. He touches her.
The scent of newspaper, the scent of you. This is why I live with you. Nothing smells quite like you.
Troglodytes.
Probably.
Weirdo. A yoga teacher can't be a troglodyte.
Can't be, no.
You'll only get one when you sniff something.
No.
You remember when we met? I quoted cartoons that I dubbed. I texted you on Viber and you texted me back, "Marry me." What did I write back?
I can't remember.
Liar. You remember.
You are my new dream and you're mine.
Federico sniffs Nada's leg.
Right. Flynn Rider said that to Rapunzel. And you didn't even know, did you?
Federico jumps up, grabs a boot, a long, deep sniff with all of his strength. He turns away, dejected.
Let's go to sleep.
What, now?
The smell's gone.
He dives back onto the bed, rolling himself in the covers. Nada looks at him, lies beside him. Federico speaks from under the covers.
Is Lancia a good car?
Depends on what you need. If it's for shagging, then no. As a runabout, it's nothing special.
And for flying?
Flying cars won't be around till at least 2030. By that time, the Lancia can be beautifully wing its way, like your Philadelphia ship.
Pity.
I shagged my boyfriend in his Lancia. We went to the same sports club, my first boyfriend. He told me I was shagging the future Juventus goalkeeper.
I was daydreaming. Last day I flew in a Lancia to Montenegro.
Montenegro? To do what? If you want to leave me and the kids and your conjugal rights and duties, then sod off to Montenegro in a Lancia. But first, pay Adamo school fees. We have to pay him at least a year in advance now.
How come?
I don't know. Thank God Gabriella's still little. It's a stay school for her when the time comes. It'll cost less. We only need one genius in the family.
Why an Austrian school, seeing as we're two Italians living in Germany?
because he's effeminate. If a boy is too effeminate and speaks Italian, you know how that'll end up.
However it ends up, it'll still be $5 less a year.
Sod off back to the past in your Philadelphia shit. You're on my nerves. Find a school that'll make a man of a Dharma.
Oh, his homework is turning him to Antichrist.
Well, I think it's wonderful. He has to learn poems in German with an Austrian accent. It's so sensual. Maybe then.
She recites a poem, putting on the voice.
Wer eitet so spart durch Nacht und Wind. Es ist Warte mit seinem Kind. Hat den Knaben wohl in dem Arm. Fast ihn sicher, it hält ihn warm.
It's so sweaty when you act this nonsense. Your voice gets all breathy, like you're talking out your fanny. Gets me all worked up. Go on, say something in that voice.
Stop it.
What? It's your work, isn't it? Being a cartoon, dubbing cartoons? Where's your microphone? Up here?
Stop it.
Federico grunts and grabs Nada's genitals.
Come on, Ariel! No, do Jasmine from Aladdin.
I'm not in the mood.
Come on, you're making me horny.
No, Aladdin. Jafar will hear us.
Federico flips Nada onto her stomach. He strips off her knickers and takes her from behind. The sound of a balloon popping.
Oh, wow! Take play. The palace looks pretty amazing, huh?
It's wonderful.
I wonder what it'd be like to live there and have servants and wallets.
Oh, sure. People tell you where to go and how to dress.
Oh, that's better than here. You're always scraping for food and ducking the guards.
You're not free to make your own choices.
Sometimes I feel so...
You're just
so
trapped!
Federico comes, screaming with pleasure. Nada screams in fear as she sees the figure of Vigilantes at the window. Vigilantes copies the noises of their lovemaking.
Call the police.
And tell them what? It's against the law to have anal sex with cartoons. And anyway, he's not doing anything. He's just hanging from the window like Peter Pan.
Top floor. No Peter Pan-bert can climb up there.
There are 5 floors. Think they're enough?
I'll stop the first pervert that passes in, slipping in and raping us.
That will be fun.
Nada raises an eyebrow and stares severely at Federico.
Look, he's harmless.
Vigilantes listens, smiles.
See what he wants.
He's a client of mine. He comes to the yoga group. I can't just get rid of him. I'll have no students left.
Do something.
Yeah, just a minute.
Federico crosses to the window. Vigilantes looks sheepishly at Federico and Nada.
Sorry, forgive me. I know it's terrible of me to disturb you at this time of night, but I've blown a lamp bulb, you see, and I thought as they're awake, I'm in a bit of a bind.
What's happened?
Oh, I've been coming to you for 3 months. Doctor prescribed me yoga as I get terrible insomnia and have these panic attacks. But after your lesson, well, actually, I feel better. Got some sleep at last. But today,
Fucking good. You're helping, but not me.
She disappears into the kitchen.
Sort this out. I want to go to sleep.
What's happened? Get to the phone.
see, the thing is, you end every lesson with the phrase benefiting our inner goodness and a prayer mudra. Going home, I always felt really great, but today, at the end of the class, you didn't say benefiting our inner goodness.
I was in a hurry. I had to get my wife a present.
Oh, right, sure. Yeah, very thoughtful of you. What did you buy?
Why do you want to know? Just drink it.
I'd like to know what was so important that you neglected to say benefiting our inner goodness, because I can't sleep. 3 months of therapy, antidepressants, battered by yoga, all that for a trinket. I think it's outrageous. You're not even going to tell me what you bought.
Well, thigh boots.
Oh, thigh boots. Charming.
I'm sorry, is that a problem for you? How can I help?
I swear, throw him out the window. It would be better for both of you.
Still awake, I see?
Because my husband, the perv, who only gets a stiffy listening to cartoons and sniffing boobs, is and his whack job clients are stopping him from sleeping. My life's a charm.
Please, come on. I'm begging you. Let's go down to the courtyard. You can give me my yoga class. Say, benefiting our inner goodness, and everything will go back to how it should be. I'll sleep, you'll sleep, she'll sleep.
Oh, my mother, if he doesn't disappear.
Disappear.
Yes, evaporate, fall off the grid like a rainbow experiment. Oh, don't worry, my husband will fill you in on the details. Federico, come on, 1, 2, 3, kindly fuck off.
Waves her hand like a magic spell.
Okay, let's go. After you. Let's do the lesson. Half session only. Mine.
Perfect, thanks. You wouldn't say no.
Nada!
What?
Just saying goodnight.
Vigilantes heads towards the courtyard. A yoga mat falls to the floor from above. Federico arrives. Vigilantes lays on the mat. He waits for Federico.
Okay, let's warm up. Have a seat.
I've already warmed up. Shinning up to the 3rd floor. Let's crack on, shall we? What about the pigeon pose? Kapotasana. Kapotasana. And my legs are killing. Kapotasana. 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 My legs are killing me.
Aching legs, best start with the reclining hero, Supta Virasana. Can I just say it's utter lunacy to start a lesson like this? It's crazy.
Crazy is what I think your lessons are missing. You're too serious. Kapotasana.
He puts himself into the pigeon pose.
Well,
Well, what? You tell me, are you in pain? Where do you feel your tension?
all over.
Tension.
Pain.
It shouldn't hurt. Don't bend your legs so much. Pull them back a bit.
I'm trying, but they're not listening.
Need help?
Of course I need help. Why do you think I'm here? You've got to instruct me.
Federico corrects his leg and waist.
You truly are very unpleasant. I can see why you get panic attacks.
My brain work. The society we live in, artificial intelligence.
Really? Isn't that just bollocks?
Bollocks? Sure, it'll be bollocks when we've destroyed each and every one of us. All living things, pigeons, people. This is why I get attacks.
Relax. Put yourself in the happy baby position.
Vigilantes puts himself in the happy baby position.
A while back, we put a question to artificial intelligence.
Relax. Now a salutation to the sun.
It won't make a difference there being no sun.
No difference at all. 3 times.
Vigilante starts a salutation to the sun.
What is amoral? That's what we asked.
Uttanasana.
Having children.
Having children is amoral. Who believes that?
Artificial intelligence.
I got 2 children.
Checking the position of Vigilante's body,
And fall to hell.
Vigilantes changes his position.
Its principal belief, however, is eternal. Its principal belief, however, is eternal life. Can yoga provide us with that?
Well, it tries. We can reach a deeply meditative state and imagine living forever. If that could be called living. So.
Vigilantes intensely salutes the sun. Federico grips him around the waist, correcting the position of his bottom.
I bought myself a bunker, a very deep one, underground, $6 million. It's got everything for anything. Nuclear war, mass disorder, social economic breakdown, all survivable, apart from one thing.
Don't forget to breathe slowly. Now float into the dog. Head down.
Federico steps back from Vigilantes, putting himself into the dog position.
Loneliness. Tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Loneliness is survivable.
No! My position. I always feel my spine is curved. Can you look?
Federico adjusts his position.
Very good. And thrust your hips down to push through with your hands. Good.
When you're here to correct me, I can do it, but without you, it just goes wrong. Look, I thought...
Plank.
Vigilantes makes the plank.
In my bunker, I can survive solitude.
Thrust through into the 8-limbed pose of Astanasana.
The Vigilantes does this.
If there's
Hold the breath.
you.
And cobra.
The Vigilante snaps into a cobra, pushing him in his chest.
Can I breathe yet?
What?
May I breathe?
Of course you can breathe. And fold into the dog. Head down and rest. Breathe. And find blessings in the challenges you're given.
Pool, gym, luxury bar, bucket load full of a a bucket load of food for a century, maybe more. From dusk till dawn, wine, yoga, books, movies, swimming, chats, endless free time.
Yeah, give me the address. Should nuclear war break out, I'll be right along.
You won't get there in time.
Can my wife come?
No.
Shame, I'm in love with her.
And me?
What?
I'm in love too.
Look to your loved ones.
It's what I'm trying to do.
Vigilantes kisses Federico as he tries to correct the yoga position. Federico freezes.
Okay, that's great. That's our lesson done. Off we go to sleep.
No, please, sorry. Oh, my bad. It's just this panic reflex. In general, I keep things locked up in protective custody, but when I panic, they give me the slip and fine. Look, come on. I'll do the happy baby and pretend that nothing happened.
Pretend.
Absolutely. If you don't want to come to my bunker, no problem. So, going on holiday this year?
On holiday.
All work, no play, right? Don't you feel you need a holiday? How about Montenegro?
Oh, you were listening. That was just a dream. What would I do in Montenegro anyway?
I wouldn't know. Is it important? The country is part of NATO. It'll be protected in case of nuclear attack.
That's a pressing worry for you, is it?
I'm worried for you. Do you believe in parallel realities? Look, in another world, there's a guy just like you who does what you do, especially when you say, draw in your bottom. I see that other Federico, not this one with a wife, kids, and a bunch of useless problems. It's all atavism. It's the tail evolution is going to dock. All realities will flow together and become a single black hole. Does that sound weird?
Okay, and abdominals.
Vigilantes lies on his back.
Here's another thing. I feel my whole body's disconnected. My whole body is separated from
Just
itself.
as it should be.
It's terrifying. I never would have thought my arms were separated from my head.
Well, absolutely. When you tense your bottom, your head should relax. Release that tension. Panasana.
Vigilantes lies back. Knees up to his chest. He spreads his legs apart.
I need to rest my head. What good is any of this doing?
You'll awaken freedom.
I've learnt your name, date of birth, occupation, copied the link to your Facebook profile and sent it to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence answered. It's going to shred you into 1,000 pieces. I feel kind of responsible. Should something happen to you, I need to respond.
Yeah, never mind. Sarvanga asana.
I can't live like this. Unpossessed information, you're going to die. And I have to save you. If you don't exist, I can't exist.
Well, try to keep stable and grounded for 2 minutes.
He lifts Vigilante's legs into a candle position. Nada enters, naked in her thigh boots. She lies next to the Vigilantes, raising her legs in the same position.
What are you doing?
You truly pissed me off, and your friend. I'm leaving you.
Like that?
Yes, just like that. You'll see what you're missing out on. His bunker is no better than mine. My body's separated from itself. I heard the whole thing. It's all a play on words with you. I know what it means. You're queer, you're shagging every day at your class. I can't sleep, I can't breathe. You bring him down here to fiddle with each other.
I correct his position.
Don't get a life.
You get alive! Where do you think the money comes from? You have an idea how many yoga centers, Pilates courses, and health clubs there are in the city? There are more Nordic walking centers than kebab houses. He comes and he pays every month. Thanks to the deranged computer programmers like him, we can eat and pay school fees, and I'll be here all night if needs be. I'll do what I have to do. Just show me the money.
You're not a whore, Federico.
If I asked her, will you come with me to my bunker, Federico?
Wow, will you just shut the fuck up and don't forget to breathe?
Am I doing this right?
What?
Me.
What?
I want you to spend your free time with me.
I, on the other hand, want you to spend your free time alone. Otherwise, life's just an illusion. You're not free, Federico.
You both piss me the fuck up. All my slaving for other people, all their feelings. For what? Who am I, Federico the yoga teacher? Your artificial intelligence got an answer for that?
Answered already.
Oh!
You've become spam. Being moved to trash, you are no longer.
Federico lies down. He's very still. Nada and the vigilantes very slowly change position, sliding up beside Federico.
No, this is not good. You took that position very badly. Float your legs open. Let the floor embrace your spine. Melt your bottom until it's relaxed. Everything's melted. Manifest your hands into warmth. They're hot. Now grasp your penis. Embrace oneness with your penis.
He beckons to Nada to come closer.
Give him a hand. Like this.
She grabs Federico's penis.
Yes, very good. Let's join together.
He closes his hands around Nada's and they masturbate him together.
Remain calm, Federico, until every last drop has flowed out, until you are empty.
Adamo and Federico in Adamo's bathroom. Roberta calls me. Day before yesterday. No, when was it? Day after we went to the science festival. Was it yesterday? Yeah. She tells me she had a dream.
Okay.
You know, Andreas, my gay friend, they're shagging. She's in bed shagging Andreas.
Okay.
And she tells him, Adamo's just through in there in the other room. He might get upset. Why don't we wank him off? Today, Claudia sends me a text. Wait, he goes and gets his phone and reads. Morning and happy bank holiday. Leo and I are back from Montenegro. Fantastic. I've spent 3 days dreaming about you. What do you think it means? Lovely dreams, we're always partying. Kiss.
Okay.
This was my response. Happy bank holiday to you too, Claudia. I've already explored a dozen theories as to the significance of the dream. Amongst the most inspired, 1, partying is our destiny. 2, even in this strangest of periods, we can permit ourselves a party or 2. And 3, I too should go to Montenegro, all psychoanalytically improbable, all very J.J. Abrams, but these explanations please me. Talking of which, when are we going to partay or have dinner? Big kiss. I much preferred Claudia's message over Roberta's. Once upon a time, it would have been the other way round, you see?
Sub-creatures of polypeptide origin.
What? That constitutes an answer. 2 weeks ago, you're speaking like this.
Well, certain circumstances can repeat themselves in any given condition of heat or light.
Is that a titillation? Aimed at making me horny? If so, it's too long a phrase for foreplay.
The golden shower. You've climaxed and now you can't be bothered. You're not.
Fuck! Life is beautiful is a slogan gouged into a wall with coloured knives. My mother attempting to tunnel her way out of the conference room.
It would have been enough to point out the security barrier. Didn't even try.
Curious? No? That conference on Phantom Lings being so successful.
Look, the science festival was sold out. All of it. Every event. So why?
I think that they took the pathology of ghost limbs a little bit too much for granted. But it was fascinating. Continuing to feel pain in an amputated limb for the remainder of one's life.
The mirror illusion. A man with one hand rests the hand besides a mirror. His brain sees 2 hands and no longer feels pain.
And that bit about the relationship between medicine and quantum physics, that was a tad arcane. I think the idea had its genesis in the same place lectures on pansexuality had in the 1980s. Can you imagine the Ruhr Valley working class coming to a lecture on pansexuality in the 1980s? He acts out of conversation. Look, dear, those people in pastel suits, homosexuals. Don't be silly, dear. They'll be the scientists.
What's the matter? Parallel universes require different yardsticks. That's something you should know about.
Washington is about to inaugurate the monument to Martin Luther King. Did you know? 1.5 hectares of surface area, a 9-meter effigy lugging a stone, plus the 182 cherry trees. Cherry trees bloom in April. The month he was murdered, inspired by the quote, "Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope." Do you know if there's a plant that blooms at the end of August?
What that constitutes as an answer?
Well, I want something that blooms in late August. Lots of vases around the house. That way I could at least bloom symbolically.
Around here, we no longer care for monumental representations.
Thus spake an Italian in 2011.
Was it your mother that came to visit from Italy?
My mother? You'll be cured only when you're happily able to cleanse your mother's body of the stink of urine.
Why is your mother unwell?
No.
Look, you just need to get some rest. Go to bed, relax, close your eyes for the next 12 hours. It'll get you back into the swing of things.
Now, you see, I will admit that sexually I've not exactly been spectacular, but you make it sound like a technicality. You're behaving like a scientist. It's fine, it's behaviour. I recognise your genius for calculus has finally been acknowledged. You're to be seconded for high-level mathematical research. Do I sound like a scientist?
They're quotes from science fiction.
Whoa, wait. I thought that you had stopped reading books.
I have friends who read science fiction. I pick up phrases.
Pietro enters, dressed traditionally in a shirt, tie and trousers. His only eccentricity is the tie, silk, with peacock feather highlights, reminiscent of a famous Italian fashion house.
I don't understand why you're bearing such a grudge.
What's this?
He's got the keys. Let's not do this, Pietro. There's no need for clarifications or confessions, but do please accept my congratulations for smashing the world vulgarity record.
I tend, usually, to avoid people with animal tendencies.
Oh, now there's no return from using highly intelligent phrases like that. You are hereby excommunicated. Only someone straight out of 1861 in the period of our glorious unification could say something along the lines of, "I'm never going to Africa because bats make me ill."
I said I was happy spending Sunday evening with you.
Pity then you told Jan I was impotent.
I said I had a shitty evening. I had asked you if you preferred to go to bed with Jan or Nuran. You said Nuran, so I went to confide in Jan. I did it because I love you. We had the same friends. I had to confide in someone. I wanted to do it with someone you cared least about.
Never mind the fact that I'd already shagged Nuran. But you fuck-ugly baboon, it doesn't even occur to you that we spend a night having shit sex, because while you were in front of the toilet, this very same toilet, I started sucking you off and you said something not even a fucking 5-year-old would say. Stop, stop. If you do that, I'll be too excited to pee.
You have this fixation with people peeing these days.
Ah!
Oh, so now it's my fault. You act like a fucking serial killer. By the way, do you need a dildo?
Darling, I'll buy one if I need one.
Oh, sex shop or chemist?
Obviously from the vet.
Fine. Fine.
Fuck off! Pietro exits. There is a pause. Fuck. Pirandello's Man, Beast and Virtue encounters Little Men by Louisa May Alcott.
Part and parcel of being a bisexual lead.
What?
Italian.
What it is this child. After that night, we even had some tender moments, but then he sensationally stood me up once too often. I can't make up my mind if he's ultra-modern or antique.
I wouldn't have fooled me.
Romanticism, obsessive devotion, caution, the faint whiff of melancholy. We Europeans are like the Greeks were for the Roman Empire. So refined are our assorted, invented sophistications, but we're running out of cash to maintain them. Everything will be forgotten. It will be the end of that boy.
Stop brooding on it.
We're not going to have any time left if we want to make the money to survive. I'll create an identity. I am what I am. I am the offspring of my choices. I am my successor. I want to see what happens when the money runs out.
It's just...
Adama, after a moment, a certain intimacy, looks at Federico. Am I a Neanderthal? Am I someone who would murder children rather than starve? Look, I understand. You say that body and soul are the same, and that flesh can be taken for friendship. But when Socrates lay down beside Alcibiades...
No.
No?
No.
What no?
Nothing. I don't want to say anything.
Well, pardon me for speaking.
If I remain silent, nothing will happen. Nothing comes from nothing, and nothing is nothing. When someone prays and gets healed, they're healed because they prayed, not because the prayer was answered by God. So, nothing.
Oh, here we go. The perspective of someone who's studied science for 5 minutes. Someone who gazes at the universe and decides they're brighter. My heart tells me you're deaf to my words, and this is the cause of my tears and woe.
If I'd started in science when they discovered my talent for calculation, I'd probably have been more introverted.
Oh, and when was this?
As a teenager, various German, American, and Canadian universities were interested in offering me a place. In the end, I don't know why, but my parents put me in a school of mathematical sciences in Tel Aviv. I was there a couple of months and then there was a bomb. It's a miracle I'm alive. I just closed the book I was reading when shrapnel tore through the pages.
Really?
Obviously, at that point, my parents pulled me out.
Wait.
So, what about breakfast?
He checks himself in the mirror of the fourth wall,
On the other hand,
checking his eyes.
look, oxidation of hemoglobin in my pupillary matrix. My eyes are blurred, okay?
Federico kisses Adamo's head and exits. We are back at the room of the Gallery of Modern Art. Sol the Wit on the wall. Adamo alone. Fine. Bye. From the back of the stalls we hear, "Hello!" A striking African-American man, Nikolai, is walking towards the stage. Barefoot, shirtless with trousers and a straw hat, he performs a tribal song and dance using his body as percussion. He arrives at Adamo. Hi.
Hello.
Who are you?
Roundhead Degu. I work the cotton plantation for the Lehman Brothers.
The Lehman Brothers.
I'm very 19th century.
You are a slave
Was.
until the Northerners won the war.
Brothers now call me Nikolai.
You've such a lovely voice, Nikolai. Thought about how you're going to reinvent yourself? Storytelling theatre? Chronicle the social and cultural activity of American slaves? Call centre? Or escort? You should know that the Lehman Brothers caused massive problems for humanity in the 21st century. Those problems you could nip in the bud and earn some cash if you killed them back in the 19th century.
I'll think on it.
Thank you, Nikolai. Goodbye.
Yo, fly by.
They both exit. Another Sol the Wit wall drawing. A conceptual artist stands centre stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'd like to thank the European Union, in particular their Creative Europe programme, for giving me the opportunity to bring about "You Cannot Destroy Conceptual Art." I'd also like to share my thanks with the City of Amsterdam, without whom this project would not have been possible. Allow me to present my collaborator.
Slow-mo enters.
Slurbo comes from Montenegro and doesn't know Amsterdam. He's saving money to buy a new Alpha Dog, the motorbike of his dreams. I hired him to accompany me to randomly drive about the city. We asked the GPS to locate the nearest museum of contemporary art. Then an app linked to the GPS suggested a destination, and so here we are. Slobo, you may begin.
Slobo produces a massive sledgehammer. It destroys the solar-whipped wardrobe. A light slowly pierces the darkness, gradually illuminating a naked male torso. A limbless, headless body twitching in the half-light. On the fringes of the light, a hand, called Manu, appears. The hand approaches Torso and touches it, causing Torso to flinch. Mano fondles Torso. Pietro?
Adamo.
Pietro, darling, can you hear me?
You found me.
Why are you whispering?
Because I'm terrified, Adamo.
Terrified of what?
You really need to ask. That psycho with the samurai sword. I saw Nada's head come off. Claudia's sheared right across her middle, perfectly halved, like Da Vinci's golden ratio, and Federico slashed into tiny, tiny pieces.
Calm down, Pietro. He's not here.
No? Adamo, what happened to me? I can't see a thing.
Mano, the hand, dances across Torso. You are as stunning as ever.
Adamo, tell me the truth.
1, 2, I've always loved counting your abdominals. 3, 4.
Never mind my abdominals. What else is left of me?
He tousles Pietro's nipples. Pity. I can't kiss them.
Why not?
I'm reduced to a metacarpus.
What?
My entire body now is just a hand. The left one into the bargain.
Oh, hand.
It's something after all.
It's horrible.
Oh no, not at all. It's fine. Mano fondles Torso's extremities. I am a hand, and you are a headless, handless, legless torso.
No, how is this possible?
Oh, you were talking about saber dancers. I see Slobo took you for a spin on the dance floor. Mano wanders down to Torso's nether regions. My, I see he left you this.
Perhaps I won't die.
Not as long as you have your cock, no.
I'm being serious.
You remember what Meister Eckhart said.
How did you drive that bike so far without a license?
Don't be afraid of those who want to kill your body. They cannot touch your soul.
Did you do it on purpose by any chance?
The soul has a mind of its own, my boy. Your body may be broken into 1,000 pieces, but your soul is a sun radiating from your every part.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
What?
Soul. Sun. Say it again.
Your soul is a sun radiating from your every part. For this reason, you cannot die. You are immortal.
I thought so. I was right. It's the tone you're using.
Tone?
A voice. You said the soul and the body are the same. You act like a messiah. You dominate us with talk, either naked or clothed. I just have to play the happy, grateful audience to your flashes of genius. You're safe and sound as you stroke my battered body and make fun of me. I'm practically dead and you bathe in your own glory.
Torso turns on Mano. A duel. Are you out of your mind? Do you know who I am?
You're the bad cock in our henhouse. We believed in your genius. And then, like tarts, trapped in a boudoir, you shagged us all at your leisure.
Torso approaches Mano, who retreats. Mano falls. Torso dives on top of him.
I'm going to wipe my arse with all your pretty theories and research.
I loved you. I wanted to make you happy. Mano tries to struggle free, but Torso impedes him.
You'd rather see us dead than have us lose respect and enthusiasm for you. You killed us, Adam, so your ego wouldn't kill you.
Torso lets Mano go and retreats. Here, take my hand, Pietro. He approaches Torso. I have nothing more to offer you, but nothing less either. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm in the same position. It's just that I'm attempting to keep a clear head and not turn into a gibbering idiot. My hand thinks. Your torso thinks, therefore we are. It's absurd, it's simple and scary and tremendously exciting. Pure poetry, but without pathos. It's divine revelation, but without faith. Let us live in pieces. Sure, I have an ego that makes me quote Meister Eckhart and generally behave like I can foresee everything. I was talking to you as if I knew that death does not exist. You're right. I didn't know, but now I know, because I'm not safe and sound. I am beaten, Pietro, annihilated, killed, yet I live. Who cares if no one in the whole world believes it? The important thing is that you believe. This is the bond that unites us, our friendship, our love, and our destiny.
I'm surprised to hear you talk like this, Adamo.
I feel the same about you.
Your tone has changed.
Yes,
It's more human.
nothing is knowable in advance.
I don't know why, but I do feel calmer.
Most people don't believe in anything, and anything can be destroyed without a reason, any life. There are no guarantees, no protections. How could I have known that this motorbike was a Trojan horse? That together with Slobo they would come with a sword to slay us like Ulysses with the Trojans? It seems to me, though, that together, now, we've got something that we didn't have before. Something imperceptible. It makes you want to cry. A real shame, though, that we're unable to cry.
Oh? Hope? No?
What?
Like things could be as they were. Before Bochum University, the Tesla, Facebook, Instagram.
Like once upon a time.
We can wait,
Yes, wait and hope.
like children.
Like children.
We can wait for the Saviour.
Let's sit in the dark and wait. Time passes. Mano and Torso sat in the dark, waiting for the Saviour. We are back at the masturbation installation. Adamo and Federico are still masturbating furiously. Federico is in the lead. Suddenly Nada enters and stands in front of them. Federico's penis goes soft. Adamo ejaculates and wins. The neon highlights his victory. Federico falls into a deep sleep. Nada slaps him to wake him up.
Oh, what the fuck are you doing? You have to pick Adamo up from school.
Federico wakes from his nightmare. Suddenly, with real rage,
Okay, I'll go and get Adam.
Adamo's house. Federico enters with a rucksack.
Adamo, listen, have you been happy with me?
You've just got here.
Yeah, I meant
You've got a rucksack.
over the years.
Why are you asking?
Fine. No, I don't know. It sprang to mind after seeing that masturbation installation.
Going back to it after 10 years in a theatre rather than a museum with an artist dick director who's destroyed every idea of ensemble and programme. In the absence of new ideas, stale ones are sold as fresh.
That's it, exactly. It begs the question, what is the real world? How was Montenegro?
I didn't go to Montenegro.
Oh.
I saw a piece of performance art called You Cannot Destroy Conceptual Art. You missed out.
Your telephone was saying, yesterday I saw Montenegro.
Adamo laughs.
What?
No, it was truly an out-of-body experience.
Meaning
A time gate opened.
time gate during the performance?
Years ago, I went to a conference in Montenegro. I had this apartment in Cetinje.
Nice.
mirror, and in the kitchen, a bar stool that came up to my cock. So I put the stool in front of the mirror, and I laid down some kitchen roll, pulled down my pants, and I started banging one out.
Some things about you will never cease to comfort me.
Meaning what?
Your keen attention to detail. Thank you, do go on as ever. I'm all ears.
No. Thank you, Federico. Now.
Meanwhile, back in Montenegro, banging one out on a bar stool in the bedroom.
Yes. The bedroom looked out onto a small garden, and I thought it was part of my apartment. But suddenly, there's a cough comes from the garden, and I realise I'm facing another flat, probably the one owned by my elderly landlords. Well, I see a shadow. I panic. If they coughed in June, it probably means that they've seen me.
Shit.
Yeah. I try to save the situation by removing the kitchen roll and putting a book on the stool. I throw the kitchen roll onto the toilet when I hear a knock. Shit! Elderly landlord.
Shit, is just the right.
Yeah. So I have this sudden flush. Crossbows, arrows, cricket bats, baseball bats, all the things that I'd seen at Podgorica airport that you cannot take on the plane. And I shout out, just a moment! I open the door and I see that some workers are getting into a van. Well, I asked them if they had knocked, and they said no. And then I realised that someone was knocking on the bedroom window.
You old man.
No! I go to the bedroom window, open the window, and outside is this beautiful boy in grey underpants. He's talking to me in Slavic, and he's saying, Freund, and he's miming having a shower. And I ask him in English if he needs some kind of shower gel to have a wash. So I get the shower gel from the bathroom, and I hand it to him.
And then?
Well, taking the bottle, his hand caressed mine. I said, hold the fuck on, because there's more. This is cultural, I'm thinking to myself. You know, this must be their way of just saying thank you, you know. And after a moment, though, I hear another knock. And sure enough, there's this beautiful boy again with a towel around his waist. Well, picking up courage, I invite him in, and I ask him if he needs anything. And he continues desperately to repeat, Freund, Freund. So I take him into the bathroom. You know, I say to him, do you need anything? And I stroke his hand, like he did to me, all very easy. And then I stroked his hips.
All very easy.
And I rubbed his nipple, and his towel falls to the floor, and I kiss him, and I give him a blowjob, and he wants to fuck, but we don't have any condoms, so we carry on with the oral sex, and then his glances, I want to take him in the kitchen and fuck him, but his glances and gestures tell me, no, not the kitchen. Outside in the street, yeah, I want to go to bed, but again, eyes and hands are making me understand, no, not in the bed, not in the bedroom, outside with my friends in the street. We're in the bathroom, he comes before I do, and then he's gone, out of the window, from whence he came.
Well, and believe me when I say I'm rather scared to ask, but what has this to do with the performance the other night?
Well, the guy in Montenegro had a scorpion tattoo on his right pec. The performer the other day came from Montenegro. Federico looks at Adamo confused. Well, in the performance he was swinging this great big hammer, and his tattoo slipped out from under his shirt. And it was the same tattoo. I'm absolutely sure that I knew that face from somewhere. His name was Slobo, and he's been here for years. I mean, he's not really a performance artist at all, but he's in love with alpha dogs. We had dinner after the show, and well, the big news is, I think we're engaged.
Congratulations!
It's like a complex thriller meets a porno meets a romantic comedy.
But in reality, it's shallow.
No, it's simple, not shallow. Love, need, flesh.
Thriller, porno, romantic comedy, B-movie.
You should have more respect for film genre, or at the very least for porn films. People from the Balkans have suffered through terrible things. They've witnessed the corpses of their countrymen placed in mass graves like loose tea bags, the beautifully packaged ones, like they have in China. There are swathes of the former Yugoslavia where the stench of corpses still radiates for miles. And you know what this means? In contrast, these guys know just how to indemnify a living body. Emotionally, I mean.
I don't know, please. You gave him a blowjob 10 years ago and had a dinner the other night. Aren't you tired of evanescent adventures?
Evanescent?
Quite evanescent.
Thus spake the queen of evanescence.
Oh, well, how do I put this? Yes, it's true our experiences together were evanescent. Mia culpa.
You're the queen of colours and evanescence.
We blundered our way through time and space, and I'll admit, my personality often didn't allow you to embrace me the way you would have perhaps enjoyed. It's stupid, you know, endlessly playing God when we could die in a second. We're the most precarious beings on the planet, but it's precisely because we've known each other for years we can... Come on. Come here. Give me a hug.
Adamo stares, perplexed.
I'm serious.
As hustler and whore, you're telling me that our incoherent passing of time together, first in 2008, then in 2011, and now in 2018, has rendered us evanescent, and that I'm here now, uncertainly, trying to say, don't evoke the past, don't let me remember.
May I hold you?
I'm here. Trust me. You don't need to touch.
Let me touch you.
I'm here. No. Sorry. I'm a person and a human being. There is no need to touch me. Leave it be.
I don't know.
Never mind. A garage. Centre stage, a large object covered with tarpaulin. Dotted about the tarpaulin are Claudia, Leo, Pietro, and Nada. Nikolai, dressed in a 19th century servant's uniform, serves glasses of Prosecco. Pietro raises his glass to the group.
So, what do you all think is in here?
A stripper.
Pietro turns to Leo, and then to the audience as if seeking help.
I'll go for that. On his hands and knees waiting for us to open the box. They'll move in a minute when they hear the music start. The Romanian group, you remember? Let's hum that ozone song, Love Under the Linden.
Nada's voice is heard from the stalls.
This is so vulgar.
Pietro offers her his hand so that she can climb up and join the group.
Look who's talking. Come again. What? What was that supposed to mean? There's nothing as vulgar as a slut's whore, whereas a stripper under a blanket screaming Romanians is somehow rather... How can I put it?
Conceptual.
Exactly. Well put, Claudia.
She takes a glass of Prosecco.
Leo, to your wife.
Well, not my wife actually, but never mind. Cheers to Claudia.
Hold on. What did you say? I said, hello, Nada. What a surprise seeing you here. Your husband, or whatever he is for you, is he here already? Federico, I must say it was such a shock for us all to hear that Adama's new boyfriend is the husband of our very old friend. Isn't that right?
She takes a glass from Nikolai.
I'll answer you when you answer me. What did you just say? Come on. What? Didn't you hear? I said a lot of things. What exactly should I repeat? You called me a slut's whore. Did I? Must have slipped my mind. Putting it simply, I wanted to once get off with you when we worked together. Always had the impression you were flirting. But your husband is Adamo's boyfriend, who was my boyfriend. Oh, I'm all confused. Point is, I think that you and that humongous tart, Federico, ruined my life.
Nada grabs Prosecco from Nikolai and throws it in Pietro's face.
Darling, what's your name?
Testa tonda de gu.
Lovely. Testa, be a darling and bring me some Prosecco, seeing as how we've guzzled everything, and a towel, seeing as how I caught a golden shell.
Yes, Massa.
Nikolai exits.
Why did he call me Massa? Because you're a bastard like all the other masters he slaves for.
Just like Lafayette Hubert, no? It was called a Master.
And Luke Skywalker. C-3PO called him Master Luke, you remember?
Now, do you see? What it feels like an insult is actually a compliment. Slut. Such a lovely word. Call me a slut too, if you like. It's far from the truth. We'll do something for money, benefits, subsidies, scholarships, salaries, pensions. It's all the same old story. We slave away for keeping someone in power who generously, every 10 years, asks us to vote whether we want to keep them in power. The names change, sometimes sex, the party, the executive wing, sometimes even convictions. It doesn't matter. As long as there's an occasional freshness to our sad lives as sluts.
Claudia approaches the tarpaulin.
We should have a look.
And
Stripper. Oh, Lord. Until Adamo shows up, he's got to listen to your moaning.
Stay too long in one position, your legs go dead.
what it is?
What it what?
No, Adamos invited us all here to goggle at the dead stripper. He's gone one step too far with his fun. I've seen this in films. Strippers are always killed at work, and now poor old Adamo doesn't know what to do. He's called us here to help solve the problem.
We should call Gabriella. Between us, she's the expert, right? In time travel, Gabby can shoot us back in time to warn the stripper to stay away from an enraged Adamo. So she should send us further back. The pleasure would give to have us the pleasure would give me to never have met any of you, especially Adamo. Oh, to not accidentally work in the same room or to have crossed paths with scientists. I'm perfectly happy with the way things worked out.
Nikolai returns with a fresh tray of drinks.
Finally, I keep forgetting. What's your name?
Testa tonda de gu. Y'all can't remember. Just call me Nikolai.
Nikolai. Where did they discover you, Nikolai?
Conceptual art exhibit.
What were you doing there?
Seeking employment. I was part of Exabit. Fast track me into integration, seeing as how I am a refugee now.
You know, there is no stripper, but it is. They finally paid Adamo for his theater, cinema, consultancy thingy. Where did he end up after they shut down our research project?
Oh, the West End.
Right, he's made a pile of cash and bought some art.
Or made some.
Yes, with Federico. I hope it's made, not bought. Adamo's reckless with his cash.
Adamo doesn't owe us anything.
He owes it me, and then some. He owes us all, having invited us to a garage.
Don't be so naive, don't you get it? This isn't just a garage, it's a contemporary art museum.
A garage, museum of contemporary art. Isn't there already one of those? Russia, maybe?
Gabriella appears at the garage entrance, a drunken wreck.
10 long years of rescheduled appointments, and here I am, joining you at last. Oh yes, that's right, we're in Russia. Gabriella, darling, you are quiet.
There's no need to scare us, okay?
Oh, didn't mean to scare you.
Just that when you declare we're in Russia, it probably means we're in Russia and you've done something.
Strange noises erupt from Gabriella's genitals, something between a gas leak and feedback from a microphone.
You've done something, one of your experiments. You've transported us to Russia.
I was going to Russia, but I turned up here. Thought I was early, but you're already all here. Wait, haven't they arrived yet? Darling, have you been burying yourself in work again? What is it this time? They fired us, but you just carry on undaunted, don't you? Come on, calm down. Nikolai, Prosecco, when is your master's coming down? We can't wait any longer. I want to see this contemporary art. Nikolai, garage, contemporary art, and this isn't Russia.
Darling, what would you ever do in Russia? Are you happy here?
They managed to hide Snowden, so they can hide me too.
Where are you hiding from?
They calmly wait for Gabriella to answer. Strange noises come from her genitals.
Darling, I really think you should avoid gassy drinks. I strongly advise you, whilst I'm around, don't say a word, just shut up.
Adamo and Federico arrive dressed as 19th century slaves. I am speechless. You forgot to mention it was fancy dress.
There was too much on one invitation already. I wrote what was important.
Except the most important thing.
Well, I felt more important to express this as an occasion to share our, let's say, you and I have a surprise to share with old colleagues. You got a show in London and you've earned a pile of cash, postcards, not dissertation. Difficult enough writing all that. Plus everyone's names and signing it from Federico and Otto.
What are you talking about? Colleagues, shut up, idiots. Got a point, Adamo. It's a while since they sent us our separate ways. Why are you leading this poor guy on?
But it's abundantly clear why. Adamo, you're no Harvey Weinstein or Kevin Spacey. Come to think of it, you're not even Louis C.K. But I'm going to start in science what I began in Hollywood. #MeTooScience.
McCarthyism marketed as gender theory. We're going to go back to the time of poor Peter and police blackmail for homosexuality.
Wasn't that all bollocks?
All true. Watch the film Madame Royale and see for yourself.
Can you stop quoting every crap film you've seen as absolute truth? It's fucking medieval!
What would you tweet with your hashtag?
I'd post a photo, your cock, my hand. I can still remember as young undergrads the tutorials with my professor. He grabbed my hand, forced me to choke his chicken. For hours and hours, my hand would choke his chicken. There was nothing I could do. Other professors accepted this as normal. Coffee was brewed. Findus lasagna was reheated in the microwaves. They ate, they drank, was my life, my destiny crumbled to the ground around me.
Pure Chekhov. All the characters having such a lovely lunch, but meanwhile, under the surface, destinies crumbling to the ground around them.
Turd. I remember you asking me to put my Excalibur in your stone. Your life and destiny as a man of science has crumbled about you. I made you the king of quantum physics.
Thank you, Merlin. What do you do now, though? I've got no job, and neither does Claudia. Off you trot to the theater, but you went to Montenegro. You know what she decided to do? Make jewelry. Melt plastic, add gold, sell jewelry. She learned how to do it in a luxury hotel in Montenegro from an old man in the foyer. She bought the equipment. I gave her gold from my teeth.
Really?
Yes. I'm going to open a boutique and sell jewellery. You were in Montenegro.
Yes.
You got here from Montenegro. We were all scattered. A mysterious group, this. Montenegro, Germany, London. You've all done so much. What I make, essentially, is it's an image of a bomb blast. It's like a small square of plastic, and inside it's like an explosion of God. I can make some if you want. Oh, I'm never going to need earrings again.
I'll take a pair, but instead of an explosion of gold, how about a golden shower given to Adam to celebrate his success?
Well, okay, I see that everyone's happy to see me again and have me back amongst you. Federico, you've all met him or heard about him.
You even managed to live with him.
I didn't quite hear that. Fine, it doesn't matter. Federico and I have started writing a new scientific work.
Great, bravo, master.
Stop interrupting. Here is my new, let's say I'd like to present, give me a hand, a whole other creature. Adamo and Federico take hold of the tarpaulin. It's a difficult period that we are living in, too much free time on our hands. No one is indispensable. In our universities, in our country, new questions and new problems have come to light. They've cut our funding. They no longer need us, but our ideas, our thoughts are still with us, still stirring inside us. Gabriella's vagina emits an electronic fart. Precisely so! We will stir those around us, perhaps not with our work, but at least with the roar of this beast. Gabriella attempts to stop herself, but another electronic fart is released. Not your beast, Gabriella. Let us introduce Alpha Dog! Adamo and Federico pull away the tarpaulin to reveal a motorbike.
Oh no. What have you done?
That's where your money ended up.
Yes! Every last euro!
I'd hoped you'd have made some noble gesture and financed a project. Instead, you bought
A motorbike.
Not a motorbike! It's not just a motorbike. This is Alpha Dog!
Worth a fortune.
I am unable to save money. I splurged everything at once.
This, do you have a license?
That's not important. I'll use it at night when the police are asleep. No one will ask me for my license.
Police never sleep.
And the helmet, did you buy a crash helmet? Riding around without a crash helmet will always get you stopped. Then they'll ask to see your license. Then they'll sniff you out. They'll check your address, your circle of friends. You should return it.
Oh, look what I've got.
She pulls a gas mask out of her bag.
God, it's Breaking Bad.
I need it for melting the plastic and smelting the gold for my jewellery.
So,
Well, they all started talking about helmets, right? And I've got a gas mask, which isn't exactly a helmet. What am I like?
darling, you're in the wrong job. Grow artichokes or sell your body or like I do after some serious soul searching. It's a much better way of killing time until artificial intelligence puts an end to everything.
It's fast, at least.
Well, after liquidating all of us, it'll be sooner rather than later.
Nikolai hands out spumante. Adamo raises his glass. Here's to sooner! My dear, smelt your jewellery and sell your body. Leo?
Place your bets. Digits, body, science.
Cartoon soundtrack.
Theatre, cinema, cartoons, none of it matters. They have us, they pay us, they turned us into whores. But when artificial intelligence takes control, those reveries that we call capitalism and socialism and post-industrial society will be treated completely differently. Not like now, stupidly and apathetically, but most importantly, they'll worm things out of us life hasn't yet been able to ruin. Ideas, thoughts, convictions.
Yes, Adamo dear, let's all raise a glass to AI. I don't know when it'll happen, but I believe that in time, a huge monument will be raised bearing the names of all those who helped the artificial intelligence take over the world and become the undisputed master. Our names will be there.
Federico and I will be inscribed as Mayor and Emmanuel, Lehman Brothers.
Off we go. Gabriella, this is your area of expertise.
My dear
Hi,
professor of an abolished university seat, you forced each of us to play escort boys and brothel girls. You did all that you could to invent formulas and expand the space of dark matter to bring light to our world. I thought you were the bane merely of life, but as one of the Lehman brothers, you're the bane of humanity.
This is all very, very dangerous. What is? What you're all talking about? Don't be silly. Now, bringing a very expensive motorbike here without a license plate, that's dangerous. More dangerous than talking about artificial intelligence or dressing up as the Lehman brothers. Why has this bike not got a license plate?
Why indeed? You're responsible for facts and figures.
At the showroom, they said it takes a day for the license plate to arrive, and we didn't want to wait. We said we'd take care of it. Just give us the alpha dog.
You are aware of the fact entire criminal gangs lurk outside showrooms, lying in wait for people who don't get insurance or license plates. These gangs steal anything without a license, because without a license plate, it's as if it never existed. It's like a person with no name. If you take it, it's yours. Put whatever number you want on it, and all these Nikolais running around here, these refugees massing together, finding a common language, organizing themselves into gangs, and ooh.
I've never felt comfortable in this day and age. I want to go to the 18th century.
On an alpha dog.
Yes, that's right. I feel comfortable where there's a mix of ideas and inventions, costumes, perfumes, the Renaissance. After all, wasn't it Leonardo da Vinci who invented the bike and the helicopter, whilst everyone else went round in rags and wood-fired their homes?
Register this motorbike.
Oh, you're exhausting! Yet, when we're together, my ideas blossom.
Off you go again. Look, I no longer believe in this bollocks, and generally, I don't believe in you.
But you do believe that this waiter, our plantation slave, is in league with a certain Slobo, who gave refugee Nikolai our address and will now burst in here with a samurai sword. They'll slice us into pieces, steal our alpha dog, and return to the country they escaped from whilst wearing expensive trainers and navigating with top-range GPS. They were embraced by civilized Europe. They stayed for a while, but returned home on a very cool motorbike to be carpet-bombed, rushing with each other during the brief moments of ceasefire. Is that what you believe?
Yes. Oh, quick, shut the garage door.
She pushes a button on the wall. The garage door starts to descend. What are you doing? It will be pitch black in here. At the last moment, just before the door fully closes, Slobo slides through. He pulls out an enormous samurai sword from beneath his raincoat. Underneath, he is naked. The door closes. The garage is plunged into darkness. A window. Slobo with just a towel around his waist. Adamo stands in front of him. Slobo, in Montenegrin subtitle, adjusts his towel. We have to be quick. My friends are showering. There is little time. He mimes someone having a shower. Freund. Adamo gestures for him to come in. Do you need anything? Slobo and Adamo head to the bathroom and to the shower. Do you need anything? He delicately strokes his hand. Do you need anything? Adamo strokes his hips and nipples. He starts to say something, but instead violently kisses him. Adamo gives him a blowjob. Slobo comes. Adamo spits the sperm into the basin and swills out his mouth. Federico enters.
Was that the fountain you remember?
Have you always been such a shit?
Should I take my umbrella?
Adamo drinks water from the tap. He spits the water on Federico. Water is more important than ever in times of purges and banality. People kill for water these days. Kill for anything, even for a nice motorbike. There's a fountain in my garden, I remember it very well, but sometimes I tell people I can't. We can all live in pieces these days.
This is the beauty of market economy.
Have you always been such a shit? Slogo in Montenegro. No one takes responsibility. Everybody enters. You may watch the video of the slaughter of the 6th of January at 8 p.m. on the web page that says www.kio.nl.
And you can chat with Federico on the 6th of June at midnight at www.kio.no.
All the characters drink water and then make water fountains by spitting it out.
We love you.
We love you.
We love you. Slogo in Montenegrin. No one is responsible.
No one is responsible.
No one is responsible. All the characters take turns saying goodbye to the public. The lights dip to black. Noise of a quiet flow of water from an ancient garden fountain.
Worked on this today, a few hours. So, Kate, Joachim, Samantha, I don't remember your name. Rebecca. Thank you so much. And thank you to John Maria and the President Brothers for being here for the third time. We used a bit more time than what was expected, so we have we have to cancel the talk basically. But I would like to invite all of you to the other room because we have a lot of food, so we can eat together and you can chat with the writers or the actors and you can ask them the questions yourself. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.